lake show. You know, it's almost New Year's Day, but in Scotland, they're getting ready for Hogmanay. Do you know what Hogmanay is about? Well, I'm going to tell you today, and what better place to tell you than here at Millprong. This house was built by my 5th great-grandfather in 1797. It's one of the last homes in this area actually built by a Scottish immigrant. Let's go inside and learn about Hogmanay. So here we are in the parlors of Millprong, and let's have a lesson on Hogmanay. While we don't know all the origins of Hogmanay, we do know that it was practiced in Scotland at least by 1604 when it appears in the first written records. In Scotland, in the 1500s, when the Scottish Reformation took place, which was the battle between the Protestants and the Catholics, the whole celebration of Christmas was downplayed. And actually in 1640, the celebration of Christmas was outlawed for a little over 70 years. But even once it was not against the law to celebrate Christmas, the Scots really didn't celebrate Christmas. And in fact, it didn't even become a national holiday until 1958. So their big celebration every year was Hogmanay, or New Year's Eve. So let's talk a little bit about what you do to get ready for Hogmanay. First thing you would do is it is where you clean your life. You clean your house, you do away with all your debts. By the time the bells ring on New Year's Eve, you should be debt-free. But your house should be sparkling. So you would go get all the old ashes out of the fireplace. And there were people who would read ashes just like people read tea leaves. So they would look at the ashes and stir them around and tell you what your future was going to be for the next year. Once you get everything cleaned out, you'd open all the windows and the doors to let the nice cool air in. And the women would take a lit juniper branch and go around to all the rooms, sort of blessing the rooms and cleaning out the evil spirits, sort of like the saging ceremony that people do now. So once your house was ready, and once your life was all ready, then the celebration really began. So you have what's called first footing, and that's the first person that comes over your doorstep after the bells at midnight ring. It's supposed to be a tall, handsome stranger, usually bearing a gift, coal to represent warmth for the coming year, scotch because we're Scottish and we love it. Also, there would have been food gifts, shortbread, black buns maybe. But your best luck for the year was if the first person over was a dark handsome male that came over. What you didn't want to see was a red-headed man come over your threshold, or even more so, a red-headed woman, because those who know Scottish history know that Scotland was invaded by the Vikings who brought the red hair to Scotland. So if you saw a red-headed woman coming across your doorstep at midnight, it usually meant that there were some Viking soldiers that would be right behind her, and that would not be a good way to start off your new year. Fire also played a big part of Hogmanay. So you would have had roaring fires in your fireplaces to welcome people, but you've also set up big bonfires outside, because fire, as we know, is cleansing. You know, it also causes destruction, but it's used to cleanse. So you would have these big bonfires to cleanse. Then you're ready for the most important part of Hogmanay, which is your wee dram of scotch. And probably the most famous toast that you would give to your host on Hogmanay would be "Long may your lum reek," which means long may your chimney burn. Or in other words, it's a wish that you would have enough coal to keep yourself warm all winter long. So, I hope you've enjoyed this little talk about Hogmanay. So I also want to walk you around Millprong a little bit and tell you just a little bit about the house. We're in the process of renovating the house. Once again, it was done in the 1990s. And then the hurricanes in the past few years have caused great damage to Millprong. So we're in the process of doing a big campaign to solicit funds. So if you would like my stories, and if you want to see more of Millprong and more of the things around the county, I ask that you make a donation. The address will be on the screen, but it'll also be down in the notes on the video. So let's walk around Mill Prong. So this is the parlor at Mill Prong. There's Ben. He's our filmer today. He did all my filming earlier. So we have a few pieces that are original to the house. The mantles were removed when the McCarran family moved in the 1800s to Red Springs, and they were brought back after the renovation. The piano was here, and it was buried when Sherman's troops were coming through, but they found the piano where it was buried and stomped on the lid and crushed it. Also original to the house is this sideboard, which would have been here when the McCarrans were here, as well as this dresser, which belonged to Mary McNeil McCarran. It was from her parents' house. So also down on the first floor, we have a space that we interpret as a dining room. And then this back space, which I've always sort of considered the office of the house, where Gilchrist and the McCarrans would have done their office work. So if you'd like to see more about Mill Prong, just let me know, and we'll come out and do a whole tour of just Mill Prong. But I appreciate you taking time to look at my video today. So I hope you enjoyed this little history of Hogmanay and the brief look at Mill Prong. And if you like what you see, make sure you follow me. We'll be doing a lot more videos in the coming weeks. My plan is to try and get at least one a week on a different area of history. Also, if you feel led, we would love to have a donation to the restoration at Mill Prong. And we'll see you the next time on The Blake Show. Please leave comments about the episode. Also, make sure that you check out my website at blaketowner.com. Also, like my Facebook page at Blake Towner Historian.